Hey everyone, want to talk about something that's a real pain point for businesses. It's employee turnover, especially when it comes to those awesome salespeople you've worked so hard to develop.
Yeah, it's a huge issue costing companies a ton of money each year.
And that's why we're diving deep today into this article from the Sales Experts.
Employees don't quit their jobs, they quit their boss. Bold statement, right?
Definitely gets your attention.
But they make a strong case.
So, ready to explore the top 5 reasons employees ditch their bosses, not their jobs.
Let's do it. I think a lot of sales leaders are going to find this insightful.
All right, buckle up, because reason number 1 might hit a little close to home. Micromanagement overload.
Yeah, we've all experienced that, haven't we? That boss who's constantly looking over your shoulder, second-guessing every decision.
It's like they don't trust you to breathe without permission.
Exactly. And in sales, where you need that freedom to build relationships, think on your feet, it's incredibly stifling. The sales experts made a great analogy in their article, comparing it to having a backseat driver when you're trying to close a deal.
Perfect analogy.
Because it undermines your confidence, your creativity, your ability to really excel.
So what's the antidote? How do we move away from that micromanagement trap?
Well, the sales experts are big on setting clear expectations from the start.
Right. Define the goals, the boundaries, the non-negotiables.
Yep. And then trust your team to deliver.
Provide guidance and support, of course, but ditch that backseat driver routine.
Give them the space to work their magic.
Now let's shift gears to reason number 2, lack of recognition.
This is a big one. In sales, it's all about hitting those numbers, closing those deals.
You put in the long hours, the blood, sweat, and tears.
And sometimes it feels like your efforts just vanish into thin air.
Like nobody even noticed.
And that lack of recognition can be incredibly demotivating. It makes you question your worth, your contribution to the team.
So how do we fix this?
The sales experts emphasize celebrating wins, both big and small.
Yeah, those small gestures of appreciation can make a world of difference. A simple thank you during a team meeting.
Absolutely. Or a handwritten note acknowledging a specific achievement.
And when it comes to major milestones, don't hold back on the celebrations.
A team lunch, maybe even a bonus.
It's about making people feel like their hard work matters, that they're not just cogs in the machine.
Exactly. Make them feel valued.
All right, let's tackle reason number 3, poor communication.
This one's a classic, isn't it? We've all been there. Unclear expectations, last-minute changes.
It's chaos.
Especially in sales, where things move so fast. The sales experts use this phrase, and I love it. No one likes being left in the dark.
So true. And when you're in the dark about decisions or changes that directly impact your work, it's beyond frustrating.
Creates confusion, missed opportunities.
And it erodes trust big time.
The sales experts suggest several things to improve communication: regular check-ins, an open-door policy.
And being transparent about the decision-making process.
It's about keeping everyone in the loop, being proactive, not reactive.
All right, on to reason number 4, no room for growth.
This is particularly relevant in sales, where ambition is so crucial. You've got these high-performing individuals who are driven to climb the ladder.
They want to learn, they want to advance their careers.
If they don't see a path for growth within your organization, they're going to start looking elsewhere. It's almost inevitable.
So how do we keep those ambitious salespeople engaged?
The sales experts talk about investing in their growth.
Through training programs, mentorship opportunities.
Stretch assignments, anything that helps them expand their skill set and their knowledge base.
It's about showing them that you're invested in their future.
And that you're committed to helping them reach their full potential.
And finally, we come to reason number 5, toxic behavior. This one's a bit heavier.
Yeah, this isn't about tough love or high expectations. We're talking about behaviors that create a hostile work environment.
Bullying, belittlement, favoritism.
Things that are just plain unacceptable, and the sales experts are very clear about this. There's zero excuse for creating a toxic workplace.
Right. And in sales, where emotions can run high, it's easy to let things get out of hand.
But the sales experts make a great point. A toxic culture doesn't just drive away talent.
It also kills sales success. No one can perform at their best when they're constantly walking on eggshells or feeling undervalued.
It's about fostering a culture of respect, kindness, and professionalism.
And that starts with the leader setting the tone.
Leading by example.
So we've covered a lot of ground here in this first part of our deep dive. We've explored the top 5 reasons employees quit their bosses.
And started to scratch the surface of what it takes to be the kind of leader people actually want to work for.
But there's more to unpack, right?
Definitely. Let's dive into the solutions next. Welcome back. So we've talked about why employees might be hitting that eject button. Now let's flip the script and get into how to be the kind of boss people actually want to stick around for.
I'm all ears. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Right. And the sales experts outline 5 key areas. I think these are relevant to any leader, really, not just in sales.
Yeah, good leadership principles are universal, right?
Absolutely. So first up, and this one might surprise some people, empathy.
Empathy. You mean in a high-pressure sales environment where it's all about crushing those quotas?
Exactly. And I can see why some people might be skeptical, but the sales experts argue that understanding your team's challenges, both professional and personal, it's actually key to building trust and loyalty.
So it's not about going soft or lowering expectations. It's more about recognizing that your team members are human.
Exactly. They have lives outside of work, and those lives inevitably impact their performance.
Their energy, their ability to show up and give their best.
Right. And when you create that supportive environment where people feel comfortable communicating their needs, knowing that their leader has their back, that's powerful.
Makes sense. Okay, what's next on the list?
Being a cheerleader.
Oh, so celebrating wins, big and small.
More than that, it's about bringing that genuine excitement for your team's success, that infectious, positive energy.
Like you're genuinely stoked when they win.
Yeah. And it makes people feel like they're part of something bigger, that their contributions are valued.
It doesn't have to be complicated, right? A handwritten note, a shout out during a meeting.
A small gift card even, just those little gestures that say, hey, I see you, I appreciate you.
And for those major wins, go all out. Team lunch, bonus, maybe even a day off to recharge.
Exactly, make it memorable. Okay, number 3 on the list is provide clear direction.
This one seems pretty straightforward.
It does, but you'd be surprised how often it gets overlooked.
Yeah, I've definitely been in situations where the goals were constantly shifting, or I just wasn't sure what was expected of me.
And that's incredibly frustrating, right? The sales experts stress that clear direction is essential for reducing confusion and boosting performance.
Yeah, you can't hit a target if you don't know what you're aiming at.
Exactly. So make sure your team knows what's expected of them, what the priorities are, and how their work contributes to the overall goals.
And it's an ongoing thing, right?
Yeah.
Regular communication, feedback, course correction when needed.
Exactly. Number 4 is invest in their growth.
We touched on this earlier.
We did, but it's worth reiterating. Supporting your team's professional development, it benefits everyone.
So offering training programs, mentorship opportunities, stretch assignments.
Anything that helps them expand their knowledge and expertise.
And sometimes it might even mean supporting them as they move on to a role outside of your team or even outside of the company.
Right, because growth isn't always linear.
Okay, last but not least, we have create a positive culture.
This is the foundation for everything else we've talked about.
It's the soil where everything else grows, right?
The sales experts believe that a positive culture is non-negotiable for attracting and retaining top talent.
It's about creating an environment where people feel safe, respected, valued, and motivated to do their best work.
And that includes open communication, collaboration, trust.
And again, it starts with the leader setting the tone, modeling those behaviors.
Walk the walk, right?
Exactly. It's not enough to just talk the talk. You've got to embody those values. Okay, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into why employees, especially those in sales, might decide to move on from their bosses.
And we've spent a good chunk of time unpacking those 5 reasons and exploring some strategies for being the kind of leader that people want to follow, not flee from.
Right, but the sales experts pose this really interesting question at the end of the article, and it's something I think every leader grapples with, especially in a fast-paced, high-pressure field like sales.
How do you balance those 2 seemingly opposite forces, performance and well-being?
Exactly. Can you really push for those ambitious goals, hit those numbers, while also creating a supportive environment where people feel valued and fulfilled? Isn't it one or the other?
It's a tough one for sure, but the sales experts seem to think you can achieve both, and honestly, I tend to agree with them.
So, their argument is that by focusing on those 5 key things we've been talking about,
The empathy, the recognition, the clear direction, the growth opportunities, and that positive culture.
right, all of that, they're saying that by prioritizing those things, you actually create a more engaged A&D, a more productive team.
It's not an either situation, it's both hand.
Because think about it, when you feel valued and supported, you're more likely to go above beyond.
To be more creative, more resilient when things get tough.
And that translates into better sales performance, stronger relationships with clients, and overall success for the whole team.
So it's really about shifting away from that old school sink or swim mentality and moving towards a more holistic approach to leadership.
Yeah, recognizing that people are complex, they have lives outside of work, and supporting their well-being is actually a smart strategy for boosting performance.
Couldn't agree more. As we wrap up this deep dive, I'd love to leave you with this question to ponder. What kind of legacy do you want to leave as a leader in your organization?
Hmm, powerful question. Do you want to be remembered as the boss who squeezed every last ounce of effort out of their team, no matter the cost?
Or do you want to be remembered as the leader who inspired their team to reach their full potential while also creating a workplace where people felt valued, supported, and empowered?
Those are the kind of questions that keep you up at night,
Yeah.
but they're important ones to grapple with.
Absolutely. And as we've seen from this deep dive, creating that kind of culture where people thrive, it's not just the right thing to do, it's also the smartest business decision you can make.
So to all those sales leaders, hiring managers, and executives out there, take this knowledge, put it into practice, and watch your teams and your bottom line soar. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.